has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall, coast to coast. It's pain-free Friday. Ferrall's doling out minutes on a mahogany, waxing it up. 100, 200, the bad seed, the bogey, the bad apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City. The Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion triggered up stupid. Along with the Tutty and Tater King, the founder of the ILC podcast, the rights holder of the Sheet of Integrity, put it with the Golf Wednesday guru himself, and the NHL show on SportsGrid host. He loves hockey. Then again, who doesn't? It's Carver High, ladies, on a Friday. Mafia running it along with Luke Hamilton. The rundown. We got a double shot with Morency this very hour from British Columbia. Hey now. And then in the second hour, Dr. Zhivago from Sports Injury Central. And then Chris Russell, our buddy from 980 in D.C. on the radio, talking about the Commanders and their game against the Lions at Ford Field tomorrow night. Plus, in the final hour, Elvis is in the building. Denny Bernstein from the fourth period in ESPN and NHL radio on Sirius XM. You see Denny on C2C often, and we'll have him again today to talk NHL. Well, it's here, finally, it would appear to me, Carver High, the divisional weekend. And we'll be seeing two games tomorrow. One of them in, as I mentioned, Detroit, the nightcap. And then the early game is at Arrowhead in Kansas City with the number one seeded Chiefs taking on the Texans, Commanders, and Lions to follow. Sunday, a pair of games, Rams and Eagles at the Link. Sunday evening, the second game, the nightcap, is the Ravens and Bills from Highmark in Orchard Park in the Below. What a weekend of pain day football. And then Monday night, 7:30 on ESPN, the national championship as Notre Dame prepares to win the national championship by beating Ohio State outright.
Happy Friday. Now we're talking. Like, this is what we're talking about here. I mean, that's a lineup we've gotten through this week. It's tough. You want to just get to the games because this is the best weekend. You got the eight best teams, 4 big games. Hopefully they're all going to be good. Starting tomorrow with the 2-1 seeds. Both games on Sunday have some weather-related issues. I mean, I can't take the talk anymore for this Bills-Ravens game. I mean, just strap up and let's go. I've heard it all week long. What are the Bills going to do to stop this guy? What are the Bills going to do to stop that guy? How about what are the Ravens going to do to stop Josh Allen, Scott?
What about that?
Enough to talk about. Forget what the Bills have got to do to stop this guy. How about the Ravens have to stop somebody?
You like them apples?
So let's go. I am tired of the talk. I'm ready to play. Like, I'm going to put me out there at this point. Let's go. Pain day. I'm excited for these games. I really am. And I'm just glad they're here. We've done so much talking. I got Tutties lined up. I mean, I was going through the Tutties last night and this morning. I was going through the problems.
You got your Bills tie on. Show them your Bills tie. Lift that up.
The Bills tie today. It's up there. It's up there and going. See, I didn't want to go full jacket today because I plan on doing full jacket next week for the title for the AFC Championship game. So we go full jacket for the AFC title game. And I was like, you better get there first. Oh yeah, they are going to get there first. Sunday in the Below, they are going to get there. So now that the week's gone on, I've been very lying in the weeds, nervous about the game, a little tense. It's a tough opponent. No more of that. Bills, Sunday, Highmark, Buffalo, 5 degrees, snow. They're going to win. Let's do it. So we will go all through all of these games this weekend in the divisional round. Very exciting, to say the least. We will go through the NBA. Big slate tonight. Man, good effort by the Cavs last night in Oklahoma City. Honestly, nice effort. I'm glad we all hyped that game up. I didn't have a problem with it.
I laid the 2. I hit the over. I hit the spread. I was very pleased with the Cavs' performance. And I did not only watch the game, I didn't watch it all because I was at a high school game first. I went to the high school game. That did not go well. But my harassing the referee did go well. I had the entire girls' high school varsity team laughing on the bench as I was booing so loud that my boos were swirling around the high school gymnasium like a hurricane or a tornado. I had the full boo going on this ref. He was so awful. In fact, I told his partner at one point, his partner was down doing an inbound pass, and I said, my dog weighs 130 pounds. He's a better ref than your partner. My dog is a better ref. And the guy looked at me and laughed.
How many points for Chop last night? How many points in the game?
3 threes, 9.
3 threes, so 9 points. Because that's it. It's just threes for her.
Simply not good enough. I told her to.
She's just shooting threes. Not driving.
Complete failure. She had some nice dimes, but they lost, and she should score 20. She has 9. I think it's a fail. I told her afterwards. I was walking out of the gym. She looked over at me and I went, fail. I gave her a look. I went like this. If you're gonna be on a team that's not very good, you got to at least fill it up. If you're gonna be on a team that's not very good, you got to fill it up. Can't have 9-point nights. You got to get into double figures at minimum. I was bad today.
Maybe a little bit more.
2 for 10 today shooting. I had a bad shooting day today. Real ugly.
Ooh. Yeah, that's not good. Can't go 2 for 10.
I had like 15 rebounds, though, so I can live with that. And when I start missing, I go all in Rodman. I just go all in.
All in. So that's good. Yeah, we had practice, too. They were working on defense last night. Getting the hands up, getting back on D. So we had all of that going. And I got the information this morning that I have once again been handed the keys, the head coaching keys for the spring season of the softball. So once again, the softball season will begin soon. Are you going
to partner with the other guy, or you fired him? He's moving along.
I'm staying. No. The guy, my man Adam, that I've been with, me and him are a team. So we're going. We're in it together.
Loyal
so we're going to be
sidekick.
Yes, we are not. I'm not letting him go. I can't do it. So we go through. We have games tonight, including I just saw. You sent me this story like 20 minutes ago. I guess Jimmy Butler's like supposed to be back tonight, but like they all hate him now. And they don't want him to play.
They don't want him back.
They don't want him back. Stay home is what the guys on the team are basically saying. He's gonna be there though. You know that.
Great if they just said, conduct detrimental. We don't want him around. Get rid of him. Like, what are you waiting for? Like, at one point, see, this is, I think, come down to Riley against Butler, that Riley said he'd never trade him, and Butler's saying, trade me or else. And now it's become a tug of war between those two egos.
We will do all the NBA. We've got college rack for tonight, the whole weekend. How about some of those games last night? The buzzer beaters in the Big Ten, Minnesota, Northwestern. There was some.
Northridge beat Hawaii.
They killed them. They smashed Hawaii on the Big Island.
Oregon State,
Beavers outright in overtime against them. So we'll do all of that. We have hockey to do as well.
Everybody loves hockey.
The Amex round 2 going right now in La Quinta. Justin Lauer going lower, 14 under. You've got to be kidding me. A Jason Day sighting, 2 off the pace through 9 today. Mark put the Hubbard in the cupboard. Carson Young, Nick Taylor, Harry Big Rig Higgs. Where can we get some names here near the top of the board? Jeez, let's go. So we have the golf, and we have everything else all lined up for today.
I've committed multiple felonies at La Quinta. I just wanted to say, are we on the air? Don't talk about.
Yeah, I'd love to play it. It looks great, this PGA West, all these different courses.
I used to always say, when I was there, I'd say, I'm not going for any balls in the rocks because there's like rattlesnakes.
Yeah, it looks like it.
I'm not having it.
So my team didn't win this weekend, but I still did with this app that's taking over the game. Sports Millions Pick'em lets you make quick and easy predictions. Pick your favorite players, go higher or lower, and you can still win big even if your team loses. Plus, the multiplier is insane. With just a few picks, you can win big money. So get on it. They've got a welcome bonus to help you start off your winning streak.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're gonna go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's gonna help me get the job done. There is not gonna be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
You can get Sports Rage weeknights at 10 Eastern along all of our outlets on TV and radio. Also, a reminder, on Monday night, I think Morency's doing a blowout show, 7:30 till the end of the game with Ohio State and Notre Dame, so like 7:30 to midnight, right? Isn't that about right?
Yeah, it is, Scott. And I got to be honest, I don't know. I'm not. That's one. Listen, I love doing what we do, but I kind of had second thoughts after I realized that I'm doing the game with Notre Dame and Ohio State. There's no good ending for me here, Scott. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, man, the Buffalo Bills better win on Sunday, bro. They better win on Sunday. Like, if the Bills lose and I've got to sit on the air for 4.5 hours watching Ohio State win a national championship, Scott, it's not going to be a fun 24-hour run for me. And I think that's what's going to happen. Right? I mean, at this point, listen, it was a hell of a run for Notre Dame. They keep finding a way. People keep doubting them, but they do keep finding a way to win these football games. But Ohio State, you know, they lost their game to Michigan. I mean, they lost a close one to the Ducks, but they're not going to give away numerous games in the same year. Right? I don't see how Notre Dame's going to pull this one off, Scott. As much as, you know, I have no problem and I'd like to see them win. It'd be a great story. I like Marcus Freeman, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, listen, I think that they're up against, they're like a pro team. They're so loaded. I think their receivers are unstoppable. I think the quarterback's got an easy job. When you have guys that good, it's not that hard to find them open and throw those passes when you're a big-time quarterback at Ohio State. You can say whatever you want about Howard. He knows how to get them the ball. And then they got a great running attack. There's no doubt they're enormous. Their defense is physical as an NFL team. Like, they really hit. But, you know, Notre Dame has that kind of defense, too. So I think – and Notre Dame has that kind of running game, too. So let's see if they can – I think the key to the game is them stopping Smith and Ibuka. Like, if they can do that, you know, Texas did it for, you know, for the most part, the whole game. They were at the 1-yard line. They had them right where they wanted them, and they let it slip through their fingers.
They did. I wonder if Notre Dame have the overall sort of team speed to keep up in the same way. And also a little bit concerned that Ohio State will be a little bit better this time. So we've got time to get to that game, obviously, but I'm just stating, I think, you know, Notre Dame are at a tough spot. From a betting perspective, though, everything you said is true. It feels like this game is going to be a smash mouth under type of game. right? But we thought the same thing about Notre Dame and Penn State, and it ended up opening up in the fourth quarter. It's a good game. Notre Dame belonged to be there. And then you throw in the fact that Ryan Day called out Lou Holtz before, so we do have a little bit of we do have a little bit of a rivalry here. Things come full circle, but I'm not overly joyed that it's these two teams.
What did he say about Lou Holtz?
Lou Holtz called them soft. Lou Holtz called them soft before. Like
that's not a good call.
Not like now, not in the past couple of weeks. You know, I remember it was after a football game, and Ryan Day said, "Oh, what are you going to say now, Lou? You still going to say we're soft? What the hell do you know?" And people kind of called Ryan Day out for calling out an old man and Lou Holtz who was just giving an opinion on a football team. But Lou didn't take it like very well, and Ryan Day admitted they've never spoken since. Like, there's been no, hey, listen, that was all on TV. Let's take it back. Let's dial it down a notch. No, it's for real.
I think that Ryan Day should take a look at what Lou Holtz accomplished in his career, of which Ryan Day has accomplished nothing short of
at least lose one, right? So at least, you imagine Day's attitude, bro. Once he wins, that's going to be. But whatever. The plus side of this,
even worse.
Yeah. The plus side of this is they still lost to Michigan, and it'll still bother them, even though they won the championship. Even though they won the, Scott, even though they won the championship, Jack Sawyer will be thinking, man, I was here 4 years. I never beat them. Ryan Day, I guarantee you guys, Ryan Day is going to get the trophy. He's going to lift the trophy up. He's going to look up. He's going to have about 2 seconds of joy, and he's going to think, oh, God, I better beat Michigan and Ann Arbor next year.
Yeah.
You know it, Scott.
Which, I give Michigan every chance in the world to win that game every year. They both have a chance. You can never count out Michigan in Ann Arbor at the Big House, and they got a hot new quarterback, Underwood, so I'm not betting against them for 2 seconds. Everyone just hands Ohio State everything. I'm sick of it. Rams and Eagles at the Link on Sunday. We promised today that we'd hit both games. What do you think of this game in Philadelphia?
Man, I think a lot of things in this game, Scott. And with every pick that I make, there's always, but this could happen. I am going to take the Los Angeles Rams, but I understand that things could implode on me. The Rams are all or nothing, right? Like, Matthew Stafford has been around a long time, and he's kind of all or nothing as well. You could tell early in the game what Stafford you're going to get, and we got the great Stafford on Monday night. Can they emotionally dig down deep again? Right. After last week, the fires, the moving the game, and now, they got to go on the road again. It's essentially 2 road games in a row as far as like traveling. But with that being stated, I wasn't overly impressed by the Eagles' offense last week, Scott. With all the injuries that the Packers had, bro, they were right there in that football game. So I think we have another sort of smash mouth, lower scoring game. In their last 5 games, the Rams have given up 10 points or less in 4 of them. The one game they didn't was the last game of the regular season when they sat everybody, so it doesn't count against the Seahawks. So let's just call it 4 games in a row at 10 points or less. Meanwhile, the Eagles are only giving up like 15 points a game since their bye week. I don't think this is a track meet, Scott. I think, the Eagles survive like 23-20. Eagles win, Rams cover.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not far from that at all. Like, I took the points. I think that Stafford's a better quarterback. He's a playoff winner. He's a Super Bowl winner. He's a December, January, February winner.
So is
He's
McVay.
got great receivers. I think Kyron Williams is a good back. Everyone just thinks Barkley's going to run for 255 again. That's not happening.
I like, and we talk about Jared Verse. Jared Verse is a badass. I liked him a lot coming out, and people that watch our show know we talk a lot of draft stuff on the show, and I was big on Verse, so I'm glad I look smart to see him play as well. But how about this, guys? I love this too. Here's Jared Verse, rookie out of Florida State on the Los Angeles Rams. I hate Eagle fans. They're so annoying. I hate them. When I see that green and white, I hate it. I actually get upset. I actually genuinely get hot, says Jared Verse about going to Philadelphia.
Well, let's go. Let's
go.
get it on. 3 o'clock Sunday.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today and stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I were that team and I was the coach, I would have just said, you know what? I'm leaving your ass at home, and you can wait. Well, you can get your own damn plane and fly it to Philadelphia, and then I'll still sit your ass. Zion's got to get himself together on the court, both physically but mentally, by being engaged and being on time.
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
All right, it boils down to Sunday night, the coup de grace, the 6:30 game on CBS at Highmark in Orchard Park at the Below. It's the Bills and the Ravens. Everyone and their brother has been talking about this game all week long. The anticipation for this game is clearly greater than all the other 3 games. This is the featured attraction to wrap up the divisional weekend, and it's got Morency's Bills along with Carver High's Bills going at it in like single-digit weather, freezing ass against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens and King Henry.
You know, I know that it gets cold in Baltimore, but at the same point in time, I think it's, yeah, exactly. I think it's an advantage, Scott, for the Bills. Like, people have been debating this all week. You know, I read a lot of people saying that it's an advantage, bad weather, because blah, blah, the Ravens run the ball, blah, 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 blah. You know, Bills could run the ball, too. You know, people don't talk about James Cook. James Cook's a badass. Have fun stopping Josh Allen as well. But I don't know about you, Scott. Listen, Lamar Jackson is from, like, Miami, bro. The guy's from Florida, all right, or whatever, outside of Miami. He's from Florida. He's not, like, in love with cold weather, this dude. We've seen it in Baltimore when it gets cold. He doesn't like it, and no one does. But I'm just stating, like, the nastier the weather, I don't think it hurts Buffalo. So bring it on. Bring it on. I'm looking up to the skies. Open up the skies. Make it one of these insanely stupid Buffalo weather type of football games. And I don't have a problem for the Bills. You don't need motivation, Scott, at this time of the year, obviously. Everybody's got their eyes on the prize, man. Right? But at the same point in time, you can't tell me that the Buffalo Bills aren't going to be like, really, we're home underdogs? And I said, if I was McDermott, I'd have it up on the bulletin board in the locker room. It'd be the first thing that people see when they walk in the room. Baltimore, -1. Baltimore, -1. I'd say they think that they're better than us on our home field. And I would get that angle going. Lamar's going to win the MVP. I don't care. You know, whatever. I'm not mad about it, but it's going to bother Josh Allen, right? I mean, 90% of the time, the same people who vote the All-Pro vote for the MVP. So it's like the Golden Globes and the Oscars. It's basically done. He's going to win the MVP. It's another thing, just sort of light the fire under Josh. And I don't want to say the window is closed for the Bills because you got Josh Allen. The window is always going to be open. But at the same point in time, how many years can you win a division every year, Scott, before suddenly the Dolphins, Jets, or Patriots wake up and get good? You've got to take advantage of this. So I don't want to say if not now, when, but we're getting to that point now. And I get it. It's tough. Yeah, I get it. It's tough. You got Lamar, but they're going to play Lamar, and they're going to have to pay Mahomes. Mahomes ain't going anywhere, guys. All right? He's still young. He's going to be in the league for another 10 years. And the Chiefs have shown, and it's annoying with the Chiefs, but they've shown it's not like, oh, yeah, once those players are gone, it'll be over. No, they keep on just sort of tweaking it and moving forward with it. Yeah, they're not just going to, the Chiefs are suddenly going to suck next year because they've been good for the last 5 years. It ain't working like that. Lamar, how old is Lamar Jackson? 28 or something stupid? He's still young, bro.
He's 28.
Yeah, he ain't going anywhere. He's still around. So if you're the Bills, now, I think they're better than these teams. Go out and prove it, right? You can't be we'll get them next year. There's been a lot of we'll get them next year's, bro. We're running out of we're going to get them next year's. Go out there and get it done this year, man. So I think the Bills sort of do have that attitude. I'm taking the Bills to win this football game, Scott, 34-27. High scoring, fun game. Bills win the game.
So you think they're going to score all those points in this freezing cold weather?
Yeah. I think both teams are going to score. Cold weather, it's really wind which affects totals. Right?
There's going to be plenty of that too.
No, it's not actually. It's not supposed to. And listen, you can't. I don't know how the hell they're supposed to predict what the wind's going to be. But it's going to be 6 to 10 miles an hour projection. All right, it's going to be cold. It's going to be snowing. You know what I mean? And then the snow will stop. It'll just be cold. But cold weather games, Scott, aren't it's really the wind more than anything. But, yeah, I still like the over 51.5. I don't think this is going to – Lamar's going to score. Josh is going to score. I think the winning team in this football game is going to need 30 points.
You really got to work.
Yeah, the last time they played in the playoffs, it was just a couple of years ago, and Baltimore scored 3 points. They lost 17-3. So that's in the back of their mind as well, that, last time we went in here in the playoffs, we really sucked. And it was cold and windy in that game, Scott. So, man, what can you say? It's going to be an awesome matchup.
You got to work to win this Super Bowl. You got to beat the Ravens. You got to beat the Chiefs in back-to-back weeks. It is absolutely no joke, and the hard work starts Sunday night at 6:30. Gabe, enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the games, and we'll see you Monday before the title game.
Guys.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today and stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I were that team and I was the coach, I would have just said, you know what? I'm leaving your ass at home, and you can wait. Well, you can get your own damn plane and fly it to Philadelphia, and then I'll still sit your ass. Zion's got to get himself together on the court, both physically, but mentally by being engaged and being on time.
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, Trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Just what I need on a Friday. Can you give me some Patrick Mahomes? You know, my favorite player.
Well, look, obviously as we start the divisional round weekend, you know we have to say hello to Mr. Mahomes because the Chiefs are trying to do something that has not been done. Super Bowl victories in 3 consecutive seasons. They are the back-to-back champs. They're going for 3 in a row. Here is Mahomes as they get ready to take on the Texans Saturday afternoon, talking about that feat.
Obviously, this has been a fun run that we've had with the Chiefs, but I think every year is special. So, I mean, obviously, you want to win 3 in a row, but building those memories with the guys and with the community every single year is special. And when I look back at all the different Super Bowls that we've won, I look back at special moments that we've had and special games that we've had. And so we'll try to do that the same this year. I mean, it's been a fun run up to this point, but we want to get to that ultimate goal, but we know it's going to be challenging, so we have to just really focus in on the day and how we can get better and try to win the game and win the practice so that we're prepared for the game.
Win the practice.
Practice. Listen, this guy makes me sick. It makes me sick to my stomach. I can't even take him. Like I've already told you on this show multiple times. I literally I pray to God they take his head off. I don't pray that they beat him. I pray that they decapitate him. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, do I look like I'm kidding? Like, honestly, like, there's only one way to beat this guy to me, and it's to beat his ass. It's literally to take his head off, blow his legs out. I don't care what it takes. Get rid of him. That's how you win the game. You want to win the game? Hurt him. That'll be that. Trust me. And people say, how can you ever wish injury on someone? It's easy for me, actually. I've spent my entire life watching the NFL. The Steelers did it with the steel curtain. I told you the Bears did it in 85. Kill the quarterback. I mean, you take the other quarterback out, it's over. It's over. I'm telling you, if you want to win the games this weekend, if they all do it, if the Rams do it to Hurts, they're finished because he just had a concussion. So knock his ass out, and Philly will lose. You want to beat the Ravens? Rack his ass. The Bills should rack his ass. That'll be the end of them. You want to win the game against Goff? Rack his ass and let Jaden Daniels go to work. Simple. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. Kill him. I mean, look,
it is what, like, if you're not a fan of the Chiefs, you've had enough of it. Like, you'd love to see them lose at this point. Like, it's just too much every single year. Watching them go to the end. This week, it will be up to the Houston Texans to try and send them home, coming off the wild card win against the Chargers last week at home. Here is head coach DeMeco Ryans.
I always love that they can win.
The underdog always, you always hear one at least in a week like this give you this line. Nobody believed in us, and we're here. Let's go.
The most important quality for our team is perseverance. And we've had some ups and downs throughout the year, and we went through some difficult times, where, again, everybody was not believing in us, which is good. You had that adversity from the outside. We were trying to, on the inside, make sure we're doing things the right way, playing the right way. Games didn't go our way all the time. Like, we've been in tough games. We had tough losses. We've had wins at the last minute. So we're battle tested as a team, and I think that's hardened us to be exactly in this spot for that reason.
They're just not as good as Kansas City. That's the problem. They're not in the same league. They're not. You know what?
Yeah.
You know what they are? A game better than the Steelers.
Look, I think that they can cover this number. I don't think, and I haven't seen many people try to sell this week. I don't think that they can win the game outright. I don't think that. Could they stay within because this number's over a touchdown. Now, Mahomes this year, I'll give this to you. Mahomes against the spread is a favorite of 7 or more points. 5-1. 7 or more. And this is, as we know,
oh God, I pray to God.
God. This is still 8.5 and 41.5. It's Friday. I told you I'd wait till Friday to say it. I'll go with you here. I hate doing it. This guy bashes me over the head every single year, but I'll try it. I don't think they'll lose, but I'll try the Texans with the 8.5. Chiefs are going to lose, and I love that over 41.5.
Yeah, I'm with you. So I'm not changing now. Like I wish ill will and bocce jinx and death and witches like brew and bocce jinxes and evil and unholiness on the Chiefs. And my aunt lives in Kansas City. Screw her too. She gave me the business the other day. Oh, the Chiefs are going for another Super Bowl. Have you noticed? That's what she wrote me. Have you noticed? Have I noticed, you miserable?
He didn't say that. Have you noticed?
Yeah.
She said, have you noticed? Or was
That's
she like playing with you?
She's
was
giving
she,
me the business.
Like trying to dig you, right? Have you noticed the Chiefs are going for another one? Yeah.
Oh, and then she says, Patrick's such a cutie pie. Did you see his new baby girl? That's what she said.
He had another kid. He's such a cutie pie. That's because she probably still loves that picture of you at Arrowhead with those pants.
Yeah. He lives downtown in Kansas City, and she's got like a badass like A-frame in the city. She's a cool lady, but she's another miserable bee. Like she's a Chiefs fan, miserable bee, and I can't stand her. I hope she gets food poisoning tomorrow.
That's not nice.
I'm not a nice person.
I know. Of course, the Chiefs have been doing this so much over recent history that there's a lot of records coming their way. Mahomes needs 232 passing yards to move ahead of Drew Brees on the all-time passing list. I believe he's not ahead of him all time, but I think he's in the top 3 at that point. Needs 4 touchdown passes to tie Montana for second on the passing touchdown list. So a couple records for him coming their way. Lineup-wise, the Chiefs are going to start Joe Thuney at left tackle despite their regular starter, DJ Humphries, now being healthy. Now, Humphries was out, Scotty, down the stretch. Thuney filled in at left tackle. I mean, they won 15 games, so, it certainly didn't hurt them when he was in there, but they're going to, quote, stay with the hot hand at left tackle. Yeah, put him in, as long as, let's make him a turnstile. Can we get Will Anderson past Thuney a few times on Saturday? Come on, let's go.
I live for that moment. I want to see that giant monster like Ferguson from Fast Times at Ridgemont High barreling in on Mahomes. And then I hope he drops him. And then I hope he rolls on his ankles, his bad ankles. And then I hope he gets up and does another one of his Oscar-winning performances of limping around for 3 hours that he does, his phony-ass ankle injuries that he has. I pray for that. Give me the last stat. It's the only one I'm interested in. The last one you have is the one I'm interested in.
Now, this applies to this game and the one we're going to do after the break. The last 5 teams that won 15 regular season games did not win the Super Bowl. So winning 15 plus regular season games has not guaranteed you anything. The last 5 have all lost. And you have 2 15-win teams, Chiefs and the Lions.
I hope they both lose. I really do. Like, I hope this thing is turned on its head.
That would shake
and
things
we
up.
come in here on Monday, and I am telling you what, if they lose, either one of them, I'm going to be on that X just dropping bombs left and right on Saturday and Sunday. I'm dropping bombs. And Saturday, if they both lose, I'm going. I'm going to get hammered, and I'm going to drop bombs all day. So keep an eye out. It's coming.
A tsunami. I know I like giving you, I'm going to give you the tutties later, but I even had a couple props I was going to try to give you one from each game. Hopkins, 50 or more receiving yards, plus 235. I think Hopkins is going to be involved for the Chiefs tomorrow.
Of course he is.
So I like 50 yards for Hopkins at a good price.
He'll have
plus
50 yards in the
for
first 7 minutes.
That would be great. I can go right to the window and then reinvest it right in something else for the second half. So I hope he can go do that right in the first half. Let's go.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today and stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I were that team and I was the coach, I would have just said, you know what? I'm leaving your ass at home, and you can wait. Well, you can get your own damn plane and fly it to Philadelphia, and then I'll still sit your ass. Zion's got to get himself together on the court, both physically but mentally, by being engaged and being on time.
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFC selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
So my buddies are going to that game tomorrow night in Detroit at Ford Field, and they've waited a lifetime for this. They've been watching the Lions suck since they were in their mother's womb. I mean, they have been awful. Like, and last year, let's face facts, was, horrific for them. When you're up that big in San Francisco against the Niners at Levi's in the title game and you blow it, that's like torture for Lion fans. That's just like sticking a giant dagger through their heart. They have never had anything. I don't want to hear about the 50s. Nobody was alive for that. Your great-grandpa, maybe. I mean, let's just kid, aside. Just put all that nonsense off to the side because they've never done anything, ever. And here they are, and they're the number 1 seed, and everybody thinks they're just going to waltz to the Super Bowl. And they're going to the game. My buddies are like, we're going to the Super Bowl. We're going to the Super Bowl. And I'm like, best laid plans. Now, they are really good, I think, offensively. I think they are legit. I don't deny Aaron Glenn's defense either. They seem to step up, but they got their hands full tomorrow night.
They are going to have their hands full tomorrow night. And yes, we decided, I know for people just checking in, we decreed here on Coast to Coast a while ago that once the Super Bowls started reaching the 50s, as in Super Bowl 50 and on,
right,
any championships before Super Bowl I don't matter anymore. So anything that happened in the 50s and 40s and 30s, all those NFL titles, they're off the board. We've reached 50 Super Bowls. The Super Bowl's all that matters. They should just basically mean like you never won a championship at this point. But yes, the Detroit fans are starved for a football championship. Dan Campbell is hoping to bring that to them.
It is unique, and I go back to look. It's one of the things that was. I go back to this. It was one of the things that for somebody like me was appealing about playing here, wanting to play here and coach here. This is a sleeping giant for football, and they, Pistons have had success, Red Wings have had success, but the Lions have never had success. And
Tigers have had more success.
To be able to unlock everything. This is a sports town, and for everybody to feel like they're a part of it. Like, man, this is our team, and they represent they represent us, and what they're about and the way they play. We can stand behind that.
Listen, there's no denying that they're passionate and they're starved for a championship. But let's face facts. The Red Wings are the best team that the city's ever known. That's just all there is to it. The Pistons did great a couple times. The Tigers were great once. And all I know is the Lions have never done it. They've never done it. Like, let's face facts. Michigan football is 10 times bigger in Ann Arbor, an hour north, is 10 times bigger than all of them, than every team. Every pro team in Detroit can't hold a candle to the Michigan Wolverines in football. And they don't even care about Michigan basketball. Believe me, in Detroit. They don't care about it. They did when they had the Fab Five, but that was it. Let's face facts. I mean, I've been to more Stanley Cup finals in Detroit than I have anything else. The Red Wings are the toast, even though no one at the end of the day cares about hockey. We joke all the time how much everybody loves hockey, but no one really gives a rat's ass about it. But they are the best team in Detroit. They always have been.
It is hockey town for a reason, I suppose.
Yeah,
hockey town. They love all that. The hockey town talk.
They got cups.
That they do there. They got cups. They do have that. They have got cups in Detroit.
Like this conversation that Gabe and I had the other day about championships. Like, I'm not from that side of the river that they don't mean anything. Like, once that time has passed. Bullshack. No one ever forgets championships. What they forget is the losses. Those are the ones that drive them nuts, that they don't finish. Like, I don't think the Red Wings liked 08 or 09 when the Penguins beat them in 7 at Joe Louis. All I know is they remember titles in every city. In Miami, they still toast the 72 Dolphins every year. That's all they have to live on. They have nothing. The Miami Canes won 5 national championships. That's all they hang their hat on. That's all they have. I mean, it'll never change. The Steelers 6, the Penguins 5, the Pirates 2. That's all they hang their hat on. That's it. It's that simple.
It is that simple. Of course, on the other side, we have the Washington Commanders. What a year. First year, Dan Quinn and Jaden Daniels in town for them. But Quinn knows this is going to be a challenge against this Lion offense on Saturday night.
They've had a fantastic year. Just utilizing guys in different ways. The production, I think, is what just absolutely jumps out to you for different players. And so sometimes you may see one player just absolutely off the charts, but when it's spread, so much, that's a big difference. And that's what makes their offense, such a unique challenge.
I don't think they have enough weapons to go, on some toe-to-toe banger with them all night. They have McLaurin, to me, is the man. And then, Ross St. Brown, it goes on and on with the, Laporta. They have all these other guys, Gibbs, that produce at a high level. I think this is going to actually be the one game that's the, the track meet. I think this is going to be a track meet. I do. I don't think there's going to be any stopping either one of them. But Jaden Daniels is going to score. And I think Detroit obviously is going to score more. Can the Commanders somehow stay within that 9.5?
Yeah, and look, you talk about track meet. Obviously, the total's telling you that. But this is also the 2 of the top 5 coaches that go for it the most on 4th down. And these are 2 of the top 5 teams that have punted the least in the NFL this year. So they do not like to give the football away. They want to keep the ball. This was 8.5 yesterday, back up to 9.5 here today with a 55.5. I'm going to run out of time here. I have some numbers for you about the total that I will give you on the other side.
Well, I want to see that, but I've always been on the 9.5 with the Commanders, and it's very dangerous. I don't deny with that offense of the Lions. I think the key for the Commanders in my book is that they get out, get the ball, score first. As far as betting goes, if they score first, I think I'm in it. No questions asked. If they go down 7, I'm already in trouble.
This Sunday, the Rams carry the weight of their city when they face the Eagles. Then it's a clash of MVP caliber quarterbacks, Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. SportsGrid has you covered all day, starting at 8 a.m. with FST for daily fantasy lineups. Lock in your picks with Pro Football Today and stay dialed in with real-time betting on in-game live game day, only on SportsGrid.
Talk about it failing and always putting the square peg into the round hole. We're going to run it. We're going to try and play these lower scoring games. They didn't score over 17 points in the 5 straight losses.
There's a chance for the Ravens to exercise every single demon on their way to a Super Bowl. But it also means the path is very difficult and things are only getting started.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
If I were that team and I was the coach, I would have just said, you know what? I'm leaving your ass at home, and you can wait. Well, you can get your own damn plane and fly it to Philadelphia, and then I'll still sit your ass. Zion's got to get himself together on the court, both physically, but mentally by being engaged and being on time.
Only on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York team has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Oh, Carver High, I told you, it's a 5-star dinner night. Taking out the young gun for the final supper like Jesus to celebrate his end of holiday month-long stay at the Ferrall Palatial. He's going back to the Aztecas, to the Viejas, to the Snapdragon, to San Diego State for his sophomore spring semester, which is very expensive. So tonight I'm taking him out for a fancy dinner with the whole family. It's a big-time boy dance party.
Well, I'll say this about him doing that. I know the weather's going to be a hell of a lot better than it is here. So he's got that going for him when he gets on that big jumbo jetliner and heads back across country to San Diego. That's a much better weather situation than what he's dealing with here.
He golfed. He said he golfed. He played 6 rounds in the fall semester. So he went out 6 times and played 18. And he said his goal is to play 10 rounds in the spring semester.
He's going to be back in time to go to Torrey Pines next week for the Farmers. If he wants to stop in at the Farmers and go say hi to everybody over there. Why not, indeed? Let me finish up a few things from this Lion Commander game for you. So the total is ridiculous. I mean, it's 55.5 NFL playoff games with totals of 50 or more points. Overs, 11-7 when they're played in domes. Unders, 22-14-2 when played outside. Now, this also works in, Scotty, to the Bill Raven game, of course, because that game is 51.5. And where is that game? Outdoors. Under trend. Washington game indoors. Over trend for that with the 50-plus points.
So I'm going over in this game, and I think you are as well. And I'm going to go under in that Buffalo game, and I've always been under, even before you showed that trend.
I mean, 55.5 is a very big pill to swallow, but I got a feeling that this game is. I think the Lions are going to score 35, 40 points in this game. So if no matter what you think's going to happen, whether it's a close game or a blowout, whether you think it's 45-21 or 42-10 35. I think you're going to find a way to get over. I'd
love 42-35. I would love that.
I am going to lay the 9.5 with the Lions. I think that it might be a late cover, might be something where they put them away late. I don't think that Washington's going to get completely squashed in this game, but I think the Lions are so physical with their run game. It's a problem for Washington's D that it might wear them down late in the second half, and they get some put-away scores in the fourth quarter to cover that 9.5. So I'm going to lay it with the Lions here on Saturday.
All right, well, I'm not. I'm taking it. I took the 9.5 already. I think that Jaden Daniels is going to be a problem for Detroit. That's just all there is to it. Not only that, I think he's better than Goff.
He's been unbelievable. And the one I'm going to give you from this game, Austin Eckler, out of the backfield, catching passes, 40 receiving yards for Austin Eckler, plus 215. I'm giving you big ones for some long shot props. Austin Eckler, receiving yards, over 40, plus 215. You want 25, it's minus 122. I'm going for the 40 because I think they'll be trailing, and I think you're going to get a lot of Eckler rolling out of the backfield there. So that's where I'm going for the prop. I
got no problem with that. Let's go.
Let's go, baby. All right, so there you go. Lions and Washington should be fun. When we start the second hour, we will come back and get into the Sunday games, which, of course, will have the Rams heading to Philadelphia against the Eagles, the Ravens going up to Buffalo against the Bills. When we talk about both these games, unlike Saturday, we will have weather to discuss in both of the Sunday games. None on Saturday. Remember, very nice in Kansas City, in the Dome in Detroit. But we got January weather at our other two stops on Sunday, Scotty.
Well, I think that it's still going to be cold at Arrowhead. I think it's going to be in the 20s, so it'll be a little Nipsey Russell. The thing is that I want more than anything else this weekend is I thought 5 out of 6 games last week were atrocious. I thought they were just horrible football games. They were boring. They were blowouts. They were bad games. Whether you like this team or that team is irrelevant to me. Those were boring football games. The only game that was good was the Commanders. I just hope that these 4 games this weekend are good games. In fact, I hope we get at least 2 classics.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Two guys that can do it all.
Too much electricity this morning.
This is a good time. We're having a lot of fun.
I had to do a triple take. Ka-ching! Why? Because of parity.
I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Load management is a dirty word.
Let him rip.
You know what? Circumstances provide the results. What?
How do you do this one?
Oh, Donnie, you got such a good show there.
A network that is booming.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.